Lions football game. The Coach J.B. Wallace Show is coming to you live from El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobb's Ford Road in Prattville. Tonight's show is powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Pepsi, Prattville Farm Center, Durbin Auto Parts, and by True Pull Trailers. Let's go live to El Patron Mexican Grill for tonight's Coach J.B. Wallace Show, hosted by Chris Britton.
Lions Nation, welcome to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm so glad you're tuned in. I'm your host, Chris Britton, and we thank you for being here tonight. I'm with, as always, Coach J.B. Wallace. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, way better than I deserve. Coach, let's just jump right in. We're coming off, had a ball game at Vestavia Hills against the Rebels last week. Walk us through that ball game a little bit.
Right. We're at home. We're at
home. Sorry.
Yeah, home games for us.
They're all on the road a little bit.
Away. Yeah, we're always
My
away.
bad.
Yeah, but it was a home game last week, region game, Vestavia Hills, and we didn't get the result that we wanted.
Sure.
I got to give credit where credit is due. Those guys came out and they played at a high level.
Yeah.
And we were unable to get that victory like we wanted. Some things that we knew going in, we knew they could run the ball. We knew they were good at it.
Mm-hmm.
We knew their O-line was physical across the front, and their scheme fit them so well. And I think one of the things that is hard to simulate throughout the week, and I'm speaking from a defensive standpoint, is the speed in which they play, meaning they play with a high tempo. And I don't think we played a team this year with a tempo like that, so I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing that, more down the road. But they played at a high tempo. They played fast. As fast as the officials allowed them to play, they played fast. And they were able to get the next play going, and they kind of kept the ball on their sideline, on their hash, and they were able to sub and do the things they wanted, which made it tough for us.
Yeah.
They played that game with us, and we're unable to combat that.
Yeah. Now, how does that work substitution-wise from a defensive perspective? Because I'm unsure, and I'm guessing some of our listeners as well. You can't send new guys on defense unless the offense does too, correct?
Well, yeah, to a certain extent. And even if you do, like sometimes if they don't, they may run the same play over and over again, and we could change our call. But what they were doing, they were playing fast, and I guess they were running some of the same stuff, but they had it built in to where they can run it to the opposite side of the ball just a little bit, and they were gashing us up the middle, and they kept the ball on their sideline.
Right.
We were unable to
get subs out there in time.
Yeah, we weren't able to get that next guy in to get it subbed in, and they did a good job with their game plan on that. So that was some things we worked on, just changing some things up to be able to combat that this week. Offensively for us, we just unable to get things going. They changed the front up, and which kind of disturbed us up front on our offensive line a little bit, and we just couldn't get going. I knew coming into that game we had to start fast for sure. We had to have some positive things going for us, and it was kind of like playing keep away early in the game, and that's kind of what their game plan consisted of.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the offensive side of the ball, who are some guys that stood out for the Lions?
Well, the guy that really stood out to me was Landon Smith. Landon Smith has, he's played in every game this year, but man, he ran the ball hard. He hit it up in there, gave us a couple explosive plays. KJ Blue played well. He had a big play for us at halftime. Stepped up, made something happen. And the things that a lot of people don't talk about with KJ Blue is he blocks well too. He does a great job blocking.
He takes pride in that.
He does. It's not just what he does with the ball in his hand, is what he does when the ball's not in his hand. And a humble guy, humble young man, works hard every day. What you see, what you get. He actually has a role for us on defense, and he's always willingly and ready whenever we need him and stuff like that. So he's a guy that really stood out to us last week. We asked a couple of O-linemen to step up for us. I like to highlight some of these younger guys, like Malik Ferris.
Sure.
He's a sophomore center that came in and played for us in a game that huge, and he didn't get rattled. He came in and played, so that lets you know that he's going to be the guy that you can definitely count on, down the road, and he's also a guy that we can help build some depth around. Another guy that plays well week in and week out, and he doesn't really get a lot of credit because his job is kind of not one of those jobs that a lot of people want to sign up for if they like the limelight. This guy does a lot of the dirty work, and that's Colin Seegers.
Yeah.
Colin Seegers, man, just watching him play and block and things of that sort, man, he did a great job for us. Week in and week out he does. So
he's been doing that for you for a while too.
He has. He's a 2-year starter.
Keep hearing that name.
Yeah. So that's another name that stood out for us that done some good things for us offensively.
Yeah. Other side of the ball, defensive guys. And of course, probably a taxing night because the other team's offense was out there a lot. You couldn't get subs in a lot. Who are some standouts for the Lions on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, I'm going to start going from the front to the back. You know, you talk about consistency. You talk about playing at a high level every week and getting things done. Callahan, Minor, Jake McConnell, those guys, man, they leaders up front. Jamari Reed, those guys. And you know, in no particular order, those three guys really anchor the front down for us. They're the
and
vocal.
Jake's playing with 1.5 hands.
He's playing with 1.5 hands. He is, and we got one probably playing 1.5 foot. You know, so but he's fighting through it. Hadn't complained one bit, neither one of them. But those guys, man, they really been anchoring it down. Josh Williams, he's like I talked about him earlier. He's our Swiss Army knife. He's a guy. When you look at him on paper, you would think he probably can't play here and he probably can't play there. But, man, he plays hard. He gives you everything he's got, and he works hard. But, you know, I'm going to brag on those guys, man. They've been anchoring it down. And then they came in this week and anchored it down for us this week in preparation. We'll talk about that later. But those guys play well. Sam Cook, week in, week out, you know, just been a ball player, you know, fighting through some nagging things, you know. That he's been dealing with no complaints. He's getting it done. Trey Edwards, not Trey Edwards, Trey.
Going back a few years.
Yeah, going back here. Trey Rollinson. Trey Rollinson has been playing well.
Yeah.
Also got banged up a little bit Friday night, but he fought through it and played through it. You know, so we've kind of handled him appropriately, or according to this week, to get us going. Tim Rollinson had 15 tackles at the nickel spot. So him and Gavin Underwood play the same position, and those guys, man, you know, I just for what they were doing for us, they were just kept off balance, and you know, we really couldn't get those guys involved like we would like to because of the scheme that we were playing and things like that. In the secondary, you know, Darryl Washington is a guy that really stands out, man. He's another sophomore that plays hard at a high level, and his best days are ahead of him. But you know, he done some good things, you know, and just a few mistakes that he made. They're sophomore mistakes that we could correct. Nothing to that, and you know, watching DJ Walton grow up week in and week out has been, you know, amazing. You know, I think you know, in this game from here on out, I think he's going to play different, just from the experience and all that kind of stuff. And he played some nickel for us, you know, which not as so much in a lot of grass. And this year we moved him back to safety, so he's handling a whole lot of real estate back there. So a junior. You know, a junior playing as a junior this year and handling all that and making all the checks and being able to do that, he's learning how to, you know, do that and handle the things. And Chris Clare has been, you know, consistent as you could be. You know, Chris Clare comes up, supports us a lot in the run and things like that. So all the, you know, those guys, man, really have jumped out at me.
Curiosity question. You know, Nick Saban, he always had that middle linebacker who was kind of the coach on the field. Does your defense I mean, do you have that guy, or is that not really a thing in high school? I don't know.
It is, and typically you want your inside backer, and I would say it's Sam Cook, but Sam and Trey really share that responsibility because both of those guys know what's going on. But I'm going to tell you, we get a lot of our calls from our defensive front. Those guys I talked about earlier, Jamari Reed, Callahan Minor, Jake McConnell, Josh Williams, those guys, they kind of have a clue, and they're making a lot of calls. They've seen it, they've been there, they've done that, and they handle a lot of things for us up front.
Again, just so when you said they're making calls, like they're deciding who's going to like stunt or hit what gap or something?
More like you know, like they're seeing.
This is just ignorance talking.
No, we're all good. We're all good. It's more like what the offense is lining up in.
Okay.
And, you know, if they're in this formation, and we may have a special check for that, they'll communicate that.
I gotcha. Oh, so they're getting that back to the back end of the defense too.
Yeah, they're telling them, and a lot of times they'll pretty much tell them things they need to know to help them do what they need to do. And when you got a experienced D-line like that will take the bull by the horns, that's going to be great. And out of the 4 names, you know, you're getting 2 of them back the next year. So, you know, those are the kind of leaders that you need and up front. Yeah.
Well, that's something I'd love to talk about too, and you said it a couple times, but I want to go back to it. You keep on naming off sophomores and juniors who are really contributing, and while you have a very solid class of seniors, they're leaders, they're great players. It's got to be exciting for the future too, having those young guys getting all those reps right now.
Right, and I'm not taking anything from those seniors, man. Those seniors have worked hard, and they're good football players, you know, and they do lead. You know, I don't have to so much as lean on the younger guys to lead, but this is the thing, those younger guys will lead. And so the seniors are handling what they have to handle. You know, they're showing up every day and they're working at a high level. Attitudes are always great. You know, so we're blessed to have the senior class we have that come in and come to work every day. But those young guys, man, they do play a role. Like, you know, we do have a leadership type group, you know, that we have discussions, and, you know, it's got sophomores in there, it's got juniors and seniors in there, And you'd be surprised, man, there's a lot of juniors and sophomores who the coaching staff rely on that could really, step up and make some things happen this year as well as in the future as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk, let's visit special teams. How about
Okay.
any special team highlights from last week?
Well, the one thing that I'm going to stand out is Paxton Janola.
Okay.
Paxton Janola, he's our punter and kicker. But the poise that he's had, he had a few rough snaps last week, but man, he was able to gather that ball and get that ball out and flip the field for us and things of such. So, Paxton is really a huge part of everything we got going on special teams wise, and and he's a leader too. Now, Paxton, typical kicker nature. Paxton, in his mind, he's the best quarterback. He'll play linebacker. The biggest issue I have with him
is he's good from 70 yards in on field goals.
Oh yeah, I'm not to the point to where I'm asking him, hey, how much you good for it? Because Paxton will tell me it don't matter, just spot it, I'll kick. That's just, and I like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Just talking him out of not kicking it short so he can go down and tackle somebody has been just kick it deep. Just kick it deep. But man, he's been great for us this year.
That's awesome.
Been great. Yeah.
Speaking of Prattville kickers, there's a guy named Colin Rogers that hit a 55-yarder to become the all-time leading scorer at SMU last weekend. So that's something else.
Oh yeah, and I'm not surprised by that.
He's
been kicking the long ball since he's been here.
Yeah.
He's a competitor, man. He's just a very gifted athlete.
A tough job to. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a great point. Eric Dickerson's who he passed on the scoring list.
That's right.
And that's a tough job to get at the next level, but he might be a Sunday kicker one day. I don't know.
He's lining up.
Those guys play into their 40s, so it's hard to get. There's not many jobs to go around.
Correct.
But hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, fans, we've got a whole lot more Coach J.B. Wallace show to come. We're so glad that you've tuned in. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, we'd invite you to stop by. We're here at El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. So we've got a little bit of the Lions Nation here already, but we expect more to come, and we want you to be here too. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace show. We'll be right back after this break. Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, you get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Welcome back, Lions Nation. You're tuned into the Coach J.B. Wallace Show on Dixie Country 100.1. Also coming to you online, you can watch the video on the Prattville Alive Facebook channel, network, page, if you would. Well, of course, I'm joined Coach J.B. Wallace here. Coach, thanks for the recap on last week's game. I would love to turn our attention to Region 3.
Okay.
Top to bottom, a pretty stinking decent region that we're in.
Yeah.
Currently, we're number 4 in the standings, and that's where you want to be at the end of the year, is in the top 4. So there right now. Hoover's 5-2 on the year, 4-0 in the region. Thompson 5-2, 4-0 in the region. Hewitt Trussville, which we'll talk about more later, 5-2. 2-2 in the region. We're 4-2, 2-2 in the region, and then Vestavia Hills, Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa Oak, Mountain, and Tuscaloosa County. So we'll talk about the region a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we discussed earlier, like we said, that we knew what this region was about.
Yeah.
And there's no time that we want to line up and play on Friday and not win.
Sure.
We want to win.
Yeah.
But I had to reassure our guys, man. Nobody here wants to lose.
Right.
But we're not in a bad situation. We're in a good situation.
Yeah.
All we got to do, everything's still in our hands. We can control everything.
Win and we're in.
Yeah, win and we're in. So everything's still in our hands. You got like it's probably a two-way tie for fourth, or how does that work?
Yeah. It's
maybe three-way tie.
Technically three. Hewitt-Trussville,
Yeah.
it's for third, really.
Yeah.
Hewitt-Trussville, Prattville, and Vestavia Hills.
Yeah, so, we got a three-way tie, to get in. So, we're right where we want to be to make that postseason jump. Everything that we work for is still in front of you.
That's
right. A lot of that, man, is dealing with the psyche of the athlete.
Yeah.
The psyche of the athlete. They work hard, and we set these goals, and you just got to overcome some adversity, and you got to make some things happen.
Yeah. Well, and I love, how is the mindset overall for the guys? Because you start off the season 4-0, and they're starting to think, hey, this is what we want to do. Tough game against Hoover. 2 weeks between the next game, and that's just, that's good to get that rest, but that's tough too. So mentally, still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we are, and this is the thing, when things don't go your way and we review that film and we're able to watch it with those players, the big thing is why did we get the result that we got?
There you go.
And so once we determined the why this happened and why that happened, we were able to go back and show it to the guys in the student, and we went and worked those things, and we've been harping on those things.
Yeah.
You got to find out why. You can't just go out and not get the results you want and just say, okay, that's it. We didn't win this week. You got to find out the why, and then you have to. I think a lot of our guys may be generational. They got to see it.
Yeah.
You can tell them, but they got to see it. And once you show them, they figure out the why. Then now you can go out and hone in on those things. And that's the key. Some key words that I've been hearing all week coming from our players are the same things we talked about in the meetings. Like tempo and all that kind of stuff. We had an aggressive week this week.
That's great.
Very aggressive week this week, and our guys, we got better. We got better this week, and I'm excited to see them perform on tomorrow.
Yeah,
for sure.
We were talking earlier off before the show started. I intended to be out there. I couldn't make it in time yesterday just because of work stuff. But what I really want to talk to them about, the message I want to share was talking about adversity and how to handle that, because that's one of the many things I love about athletics is the parallels it has to life.
Yes,
in life, you're going to win, you're going to lose. The question is, after a loss, what are you going to do?
That's what
are
it's
you
all
going to just
about.
pack it up and go home, or are you going to, hey, let me figure this out and work harder? And I think you got some guys that's who they are. They want to respond.
Right. Well, that's the difference between being, an average Joe team or a championship type team is how you handle those adversities. The things you do, what you believe in. You can't ever forget the things that you built it on and what you believe in. You have to enhance those things. But it's all about what you do after you've had that negative game or whatever. And that's what we've harped on. You can't continue to do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. We all know that. So we found out, and I think we have a great plan, a great plan of action. But we went in and we tweaked some things. Hey, we need more of this, we need more of that. And, man, our guys responded to that.
Yeah.
They responded to it well because
awesome.
They saw the changes. They saw the things that we were doing and what we needed to get from our preparation standpoint.
Yeah.
And they rose to the occasion, and they responded well, and we got better.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of getting better, I know, and we talk about this all the time, but that's almost a slogan, a mantra, whatever you want to say. Let's get 1% better every day. And I guess maybe to the common fan, you might think, well, that's during the off season. No, that doesn't stop.
No.
That's 365 days.
Right. Well, it doesn't mean anything actual until you do something.
Right.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
You can say it all you want, but give me the detail. What did you get better?
There you go.
And I'm a huge proponent. I believe that every player that steps on the field every day at practice, you should know what your 1% is.
Yeah.
You should know. If you don't know what you're getting better at, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
So every player that's on the team should know that I have to get better. That I don't care what the overall day is about per se, but if you're giving the effort and you're getting 1% better at this, now you've either mastered it or we're gonna do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep working until we feel like you're mastered it to the level that we need it. So. We try to make it more than just a slogan on a shirt. It's more like, what are you going to do about it? This is what you've got to improve on today. And to see those athletes take the step forward to get better at the small things and the details each day, man, that's when you know growth is on the way.
Certainly, and that's what it's about. Is yes, I mean you want to win football games and build football players, but under the hood you're building young men.
Right, that's what it's all about.
You
Building young men, and then you work hard, you're gonna win too. But we're definitely gonna be young men that know how to win.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Just building those men and getting them ready to be community leaders.
Yeah. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. A little bit of excitement that I saw on an announcement that came out on Facebook today. And if it's on Facebook, it must be official. But there's word out there around Stanley Jensen Stadium, Kevin Turner Field. I want you to talk a little bit about the project and maybe that announcement that was made today.
Yeah, and it's been a project that's been ongoing since last year, and it's much needed, man.
Sure.
And I want to thank the city for actually, investing into our kids in the community and getting the stadium built. But we're getting new locker rooms. They've torn down the visitor side, and they've built back up the bleachers on that side, and that's going to be the home side.
Yeah.
And they're going to have new restrooms. They're going to have new ticket booths and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be concessions, the whole nine, man. It's the top of the line facility. Looking at that stadium, it's top of the line place to play. And I rode by there actually today I just had to see it. I hadn't saw it in a while, man. And to see those bleachers up, and I saw the guys up there working, saw the press box up and all that stuff. It's
I didn't
moving
go back by. When I went by last week, there were stands, but there wasn't the press box was still on the ground.
Yeah,
So,
the press box is up
that's
now,
cool.
and I saw the locker room in the end zone is almost finished being bricked.
Yeah.
The ticket booths are bricked. The backside of we got somebody screaming for the elevator. That's gonna be great. Exactly when you're taking a lot of equipment, up top. But man, it's gonna be a top-notch facility.
Yeah.
Much needed for this community.
Certainly.
I think that we're gonna have something that we can be proud of.
Yeah.
Something that that you can do a lot of things with other than football games. So it's going to be a great venue.
Yeah.
And our kids are excited.
I bet.
I saw some of the posts on social media where some of them are excited about being able to play that last regular season game at home there.
So that's the big announcement.
That's the big announcement. It's going to be official to play that last regular season home game at Stanley Jensen Stadium, Kevin Turner Field. So
That's going to be kind of cool.
Just one side of the stadium. The old,
That's the plan.
The old home side will still be the only accessible thing.
Okay.
No, you can't. Yeah,
You can
we're
see
still
the new
long.
side.
Yeah, we're still a long way off on the on the
Yeah.
actual completion. So it'll be a lot of temporary setup for it.
I gotcha.
There'll be temporary bathrooms, temporary concession stands, and such as that.
The beauty of it all is though, when you're sitting in those bleachers and you're looking across, you ain't just seeing a bunch of gravel and dirt over there.
Yeah.
You're looking at you're looking at the stadium. You're looking at the stands, the new stands over there. So that's gonna be the good part. You can see the potential of that place. You're gonna be able to see that.
Lord, the number of people that are going to come out, to support the Lions and to be there for the team.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that just want to see it. They're going to be adopted Lion fans that night. This is going to be exciting.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, but just for the fans to know, it's not going to be accessible. We're still only going to have the home side that we've been using. That's the only side that
Now,
fans
parking, the new parking,
parking is
going to
be
limited.
Is going to be up in the air. That parking lot will probably be completely closed off on that side.
We've been walking for miles for years to get to games.
So yeah, parking. Might as well get ready. It'll be
a little different.
A little different. Probably a little
early.
hike, but.
Maybe we can organize some buses to shuttle people. Who knows? We'll figure something out. With that new AD Blake Bourne, he's making stuff happen. He'll get that going too.
Telling. It may be something where we can help the fans out. That's to be determined. But
we got a few weeks.
Yeah,
we got a few weeks. Let that be known.
Just basically the same, pretty much the same setup we had last year toward the end, as far as when we were just playing using half the stadium for the last few games last year. So it's pretty much the same setup.
Yeah, I got you. Time-wise, we good?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a question, Stacy. You may know the answer to. Is the Jumbotron going to be up for that night?
No.
Okay.
We'll not be up. But it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
That's going to be so cool.
And it will be the biggest one. If I'm not mistaken,
on the high school level in the state?
On the high school level, it'll be the biggest Jumbotron because, just like everything else, we're next in line. I'm sure whoever comes behind us is going
1 inch bigger.
6 inches bigger.
Now, Stacy, I got another question. All right. That just makes me think, because we're talking about all right, so there's going to be a new Jumbotron down there. Obviously, the broadcast crew is going to expand. You got a lot of students to do that. Can people, would it be helpful if there's somebody in the community who's listening to this, because there's guys who think like you do that like to, sound and digital and video engineering and stuff. Could you use some help? I mean, is there a realm where people can get involved with that a little bit? I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
I don't know what the plans are. Of course, the city of Pratt will
sure.
They run the facility, so I don't know what they're going to allow to be used, not used. Those are just ongoing discussions now.
Sure.
I know the broadcast class is going to participate and do a lot of work with the Jumbotron, a lot of the graphics, and they have been, the teacher have been working with Wetumpka with their Jumbotron to kind of get an idea how things are working. So it's kind of been a little test run for them. But I'm pretty sure they're going to take a prominent role on the production of the what'll be on the Jumbotron.
The students will. That's exciting.
Yeah. So there is a curriculum that the company that makes the score, it's a curriculum. They basically just hand it to you and say, you can teach a class off of what you can do with the Jumbotron, and that'll be a part of the broadcast class as well.
Well, that may be the way that you plug in, fans. If you're hearing this, you might have a son or daughter that, hey, they got an itch for something like that. That'd be a neat way to get involved with the Lions right there, because it's going to take a small army to really run all those different facets of things that are available now. It's going to take a lot of people to run that. So
it's going to be a lot of people involved in this. It's not just basically one person sitting there flipping a switch. It's going to take a lot of people to. If we're going to do it right, it's going to take a lot of people to make it happen.
Yeah. I've been helping out at another stadium this year a little bit, and I've been doing a lot of that stuff myself, and it'll make your head spin, man.
Right.
So it's crazy. Well, anyway, that's super exciting. Thank you for sharing that information with us, Coach. Well, fans, we're so glad that you've tuned in tonight. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, we're not even halfway through the show. So if you're driving around, let me encourage you to come to El Patron Mexican Grill right here on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville, across from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. I haven't gotten to eat anything yet, but the cuisine's smelling good as always.
Absolutely.
So, fans, come on down and eat dinner with us. Those of you watching us on Prattville Alive, thanks for being a part of the show as well. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Guys, it's Chris.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers, and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
XX Selma Prattville, home of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Dixie Country.
All right, welcome back, Lions Nation. You're listening to Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you're tuned in this evening. All right, Coach, we're kind of shifting up segments a little bit tonight. A little bit earlier in the show than usual, we're joined by one of your staff members for the Lions coaching staff. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this guy to my right?
Well, Coach Goebel, he comes to us for the first season this year, and we're very lucky to be able to to stumble into him and to be able to build this relationship and bring him into the family.
Yeah.
You know, very attention to detail coach. Got a lot of energy, got a lot of knowledge. You know, he's taken on with the O-line very well this year, man. He's brought them together, and they've been playing hard, and we're just lucky to have him in and blessed to have him part of our family.
Yeah.
So Coach Goebel is our offensive line coach.
Coach
and he's
Goebel.
Also, and I give him his other title too, he's also our academic liaison.
Hey, that's right, yeah.
We have an academic team, and he's the liaison between them. So
Possibly more important job than the O-line.
there you go.
Both of them are very relevant, we'll say that.
Yeah.
Well, James Goebel, thanks for being a part of the show.
Yes, sir.
Tell the Lion Nation, this is your first year with the staff here. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
So I'm originally from Central Florida area.
Okay.
Right in between Orlando and Tampa.
Hey, family okay?
Hot topic right now.
Yeah.
No, they're okay. I talked to them this morning. They're still without power.
Uh-huh.
But there's 3.3 million other households without
Right,
it. So,
yeah.
I mean, they're safe. That's all that really matters.
Good.
So talked to them this morning. They're good.
Yeah, so Central Florida.
Yes, sir.
Played high school ball there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I went to South Central High School
Okay.
in Bushnell, Florida, just right up on 75. So, yeah.
Is
really
that where
good,
you decided, it was high school where you determined, I want to be a coach one day, or was it a college thing?
Oh
or-
yeah, I've never been good at a lot of things,
I hear you.
but one thing I've always had a passion for is coaching football.
Okay.
And so it was just kind of a natural fit. I wasn't the best player, but I was like, man, I get it. I
Yeah.
get what's supposed to happen. I'm just not physically able
I
to
hear
do
you.
it to the level that I'd like to do it at. But
Uh-huh.
but yeah, from that moment, I had a coach that had a big impact on my life.
That's cool.
He was my offensive line coach,
Yeah.
so that's been kind of my MO is
Yeah.
to try to do what he did for me.
So tell us a little bit about your coaching journey to get here.
So after I graduated, I was going to community college, and I coached for 2 years at South Central. Stayed on kind of as an assistant,
Okay.
or like a graduate assistant for
Sure.
the line coach. And then I joined the Air Force for 8 years,
Okay.
and did that for a while. And then my wife is active duty as well, so when she got orders to Oklahoma, we were both stationed in Colorado. I couldn't go with her, didn't have my job there, so I got out and I started coaching. So I got back into it full time in Enid, Oklahoma, at a 6A school up there. Started coach tight ends my first year, offensive line the next 2 years, and then kind of went down to the middle school level to try to fix some issues there with our middle school program. So I did a year as a head coach of the middle school program, and then we got orders to Prattville, Alabama.
Yeah.
So here we are.
All right.
Yeah.
So Uncle Sam brought you to us,
Yes,
kind of
sir.
Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's fantastic. Well, tell us a little about your unit, your O-line guys, and where you've come from and where you're at.
So I mean, we've got 4 seniors that contribute big time to this
Yeah.
program. 3 that are starting right now, and the 4th is just as impactful as the other 3. And the progress we've made this year, I think from July when I really took over as the O-line coach to now it's a different looking offensive line.
Yeah.
So it's all credit to them. It's nothing
Sure.
I'm doing. It's just these guys are bought in. They know
Yeah.
the goals. They want to accomplish it. Especially like I said, so senior heavy. They don't want to go out.
Sure.
On a bad note. They
No, I
want to
get
end
it.
it on a good note.
Well, and I know some of your guys. I mean, they've got that warrior mindset. They just want to get better. They want to lead. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great group of kids. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys.
Yeah.
Some of the best kids you ever meet.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Maybe the most, being from Florida, I'm guessing you're a college football fan too.
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite program?
I'm a UCF Knight.
UCF? How about that?
Who would have known? Who would
It's
have
a little
known?
sore subject right now the last 2 weeks, but
Riding the Gus bus though.
yes, I'm still on it. There's a lot of people that aren't, but I'm still on it. I'm still on the Gus. I even named my car Gus.
Now, I want to be careful. I love it. I want to be careful how I ask this question. Are you enjoying Florida State's season?
Florida State? I'm indifferent.
They're having a rough go.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. I was closer to Gainesville growing up, so that was the team that I didn't really care for. So,
Yeah.
And then after last week, I really don't like them now.
That's right.
They beat us in the swamp. So
Yeah, that's a
all right.
tough
Let 'em
place
have
to
that
play, man. Well, now, when I moved here from Kentucky, it was obvious real fast you're going to have to pick a team, you know. If you had to pick one here,
Yeah.
and no comment is acceptable because that is a polarizing issue. I mean, have you picked anybody?
Well, so my offensive line coach I was telling you about,
Uh-huh.
he is from Alabama originally.
Okay.
And he's a diehard Alabama fan.
Okay, roll tide.
And when I found out we were moving here, I called him. I said, hey, should I roll tide or War Eagle? And he said, well, he calls me Jim. He says, Jim, he's like, I'm gonna tell you to do 2 things. He's like, one, he's like, go to Tuscaloosa, go watch a game, see how it feels. He goes, and then go to that school over on the east side and check them out. And he goes, and if you pick that school on the east side, never talk to me again. So if I had to pick the 2, I gotta say Roll Tide.
Yeah,
and that's for you, Coach.
That's kind of brutal right there. That's kind of brutal. That's
so it's I'm still on the fence. Ultimately, but I gotta go with my coach.
Roll Eagle, War Tide. I can say, I can blur them up. It doesn't matter to me. I just offended a lot of people. I may be canceled. I
do want to point out that UCF is 1-0 all time against Alabama.
How about that? When was that?
2001.
Oh, that wasn't that far back. I remember Kentucky beat Alabama once, but it's like 30 years ago. So it's whatever.
Well, we've only played them once, so we're 1-0. So I can still hold that for now.
Cool. Coach, why don't you give us some more insight into Coach Goebel?
Just what he's done with that O-line group, and good for him, that he's inherited a group of guys that want to be great. They want to be good. They don't mind working. But he was able to get those guys together and just get them to mesh more and to be better. And every day I see the growth. And you talk about a group that's more like a brotherhood. Those O-linemen, now when you see them off the field, they just happy-go-lucky dudes now. But when you see them on the field, they kind of get after it pretty good.
I'm surprised they're not here tonight. Most weeks there's some kind of conglomeration of the O-lines here at the show.
Typically it is.
That's looking for free food, I think.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get their share now.
They're finding food somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Thanks for being a part of the staff. Look, our best wishes for your family and the folks down there and where they're from. And a lot of tough stuff going on, so our thoughts and prayers go out to them.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, thank you. Yes, thank you. Coach, that's one of the things I was going to kind of, want to hear what you had to say on, not what you have to say, but just kind of where your mind is, heart is with those folks who have been so hard hit with hurricane down in Florida.
Man, just prayers for those families down there that's been affected. I mean, I got a friend that lives down there, and he was telling me that they didn't directly get hit from the hurricane previous, but they got the aftermath of it a little bit, and they were recovering from that. And then, so definitely prayers for those people, man. And I know a lot of them left and to find cover and to go somewhere else till this thing blows over. And I just, pray that they have traveling grace as they get back and they find things the way they were left.
And fans, I would encourage you, just keep on. I mean, there's all kinds of people that are sending resources down there. Manpower is kind of hard to go because it's so tough to get in, so much red tape to get through. But if you want to help, there's several organizations around. I know the Autauga Baptist Associations. You can funnel some money through there. The Alabama State Baptist Association. You can. There's no shortage of organizations where you can seek to help out with those folks. I'd encourage you to look for those opportunities, fans, and give to those who need help. When you need help, you're looking for somebody. Sometimes when other people need help, it's easier to turn a blind eye. Don't turn a blind eye. Let's help all we can. Well, fans, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. This is the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, those of you watching us on Prattville Alive on Facebook, thanks for being a part of the show as well. We'll be right back after this break. Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, you get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Welcome back, Lions Nation. Welcome into the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so glad that you're tuned in. Coach, great segment last time around meeting Coach Goebel. Thank you for – it's really cool to have your staff come out every week and different guys get to meet those personalities. Know some of those guys you see on the sideline. It's a lot of fun.
Right, yeah, man. We want to definitely, introduce them to the community so they'll know the kind of guys that are helping leading these kids.
That's right.
Because I take pride in building it with good men, that can help create good men. And that's one of the things that jumped out at Coach Goebel and even the other coaches that we were able to bring in. He's a good man, and is he able to come in and be a leader of men, and that's what I want to build it around.
Yeah, it's important, and you're doing a great job with it. Well, let's talk about some of the awards from this past week. Start with Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week, and then we'll walk it on down.
All right. Well, Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week is a repeat.
Yeah.
Guy that's definitely no stranger to this show. It was KJ Blue.
Yeah.
KJ Blue, had a tremendous night for us, receiving. Had a big touchdown right there at the end of halftime, and just competed for the whole game. But he was definitely voted the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Week was Landon Smith. He's a running back for us. Ran the ball hard, man. It was great watching him on film and how he competed and got after it Friday night.
Yeah.
But he is the Offensive Player of the Week. Defensive Player of the Week is Tim Rollison.
Yeah.
That had 15 tackles. And he's been a guy that's found his way around the ball the whole year, so he's our defensive player.
It's almost like there's not enough tackles to go around for those guys. I mean, somebody's coming up with 12, 14, 15 tackles
Well, I
every
tell you
week.
what, we can find some more, and we can find them on the other side of the ball.
Right.
That'll be great. Yeah, in the backfield. Yeah, so that's something that we've been working on, finding them tackles there.
Yeah.
Getting after it there. Our special teams player of the week goes to our kicker and punter, Paxton Janola. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Personality, and all that kind of stuff, man. I love that kid.
Have you seen the headband he wears under his helmet, though?
I have not, but I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
It's purple and gold, Coach.
And I guess he probably has it figured out by now. The relationship I have with Paxton, we're at practice and early in the week, I'm giving him a hard time about everything.
Please.
Anywhere from the socks to the shoes to how he's kicked. I give him a hard time early in the week. And then, by Wednesday, best kicker in the country. So he's looking at me like, whoa, Monday, don't worry about that, son. I'll never lie to you.
Well,
So he's best kicker in the country.
Yeah, well, you've got more ammunition to give him a hard time about. He likes LSU, I think.
Oh, yeah,
so.
he's just a great personality, man, and he's a dual sport athlete. He plays baseball as well.
Yeah.
So he's a competitor all the way around. But he was our special teams player of the week.
Yeah.
Our money team offense, which we call the money team. These are the guys that give us a look from the other team. And, for those that don't think that is important, that look is huge going into a game on Friday night, because that's the only way you're going to be prepared to play on Friday, versus what you're seeing. But the kid that won the money team offensive player of the week is also a kid that caught our eye to the point to where he's in the rotation this week on the offense.
How about that?
He's going to get some time this week, or could potentially get some time this week, and that's Higgins Burns. He's a receiver for us.
Yeah.
Great kid, great competitor.
Another young guy.
He's another young guy, and done a great job. And he's been catching our eye, for the whole year. Our money team defensive player of the week is Brennan Parks. He's a linebacker for us. He's found himself on special teams and making plays on special teams, man. And he's another kid with a great attitude, great work ethic, loves football, loves the team, will do anything the team wants him to do. We got a lot of those kids, and I'm proud of them for that. But Brennan Parks is our money team defensive player of the week.
How about student athlete?
We
is
have
that
not
named
picked
or,
it because
okay.
this is what we've done. Coach Boren, with everything that he's brought in, he does a student of the week.
Across all sports.
Yes, across all sports, and I definitely want to take away from that.
Sure.
We're getting that off the ground, and man, I want to give hats off to Coach Bourne as well for everything he's brought to Prattville so far, and the changes he's making, and just the additions, man. Just you know, making this thing, making the football and all athletic experience so much better. You know?
He's putting together. There's a basketball media day coming up. I mean, just countywide, it's just cool stuff.
Correct,
you know?
correct. It's stuff that's much needed.
Yeah.
You know, these kids need to be highlighted. These kids need the facilities and all that kind of stuff to be able to perform and do the things we need to do. And that's one of the things that he's talked about is the facilities that he's wanting to bring, the weight room that he's bringing to the basketball team and softball team. All the, you know, so we're going to have 2 weight rooms. On campus.
Opposite ends of the campus too. That's going to be so helpful.
Campus. It is going to be so much helpful. You know, I've been out of school with 2 weight rooms, and man, just the dynamic that it brings to your sports. Not everybody has an opportunity to get in there because that weight room is crucial for all sports. I don't care what you play. That weight room is crucial for the development of your athletes. So now we're going to have 2 on our campus, and we'll be able to get our athletes more opportunities to get better. So stuff like that Coach Borden has a vision of. Man, we're just glad to have him here in Crawford.
Yeah, so important. By the way, before we go to the next segment, I want to talk about. Let me give you the chance to throw out some sponsors and some thank yous there, because I know there's a lot of people that really step up big and help you out.
Right. Well, first I want to thank all of our sponsors.
Yes, certainly.
For everything they've done for us, and like going to Hewitt-Trussville, we're able to take charter buses to Hewitt-Trussville. It's going to be about an hour, 25-hour, 30-minute drive, so we're going to be able to drive comfortably to Hewitt-Trussville tomorrow and get ready to play. And the sponsors help with that, and to be able to feed our kid a pregame meal, as we get up in the Birmingham area and all that stuff, post-game meals, all the things that they need, equipment, all that stuff. Sponsors, they help with that. But I want to thank all our sponsors. Special thanks to our gold sponsors. We have Stivers, and they donate a truck every week for us to be able to pull our equipment trailer, and we have a lot of things we had to take. And that Stivers, they're always there to support us. And that Dodge Ram, it's a monster now. It's a monster.
Take it down the road.
So, yeah, it will. So thank them for that. TNT Fireworks for being a gold sponsor for us, and also Guthrie's. Guthrie's always there, stepping up for us, supporting our program. We're thankful for that. And then we have a silver sponsor, which is Durbin Auto Parts. And Durbin has been great for us throughout the years, and I want to thank them for everything they do for our program as well.
Thank you so much to those guys. And fans, maybe you have a part in the business where you want to get involved too, send an email to Coach Wallace. I don't think you're going to turn anybody away from a sponsorship.
I will not turn it down.
Standpoint.
If you want to donate, send an email. I can link you up with our quarterback club, and you can be a member of quarterback club. It's not too late to do that as well, to be able to support. And if it's not financially, to be able to help us. We need people to hold chains on Friday. We need volunteers to do this and do that, and so anything that you can do, we're definitely not turning it down.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Coach, we kind of experimented with a new-ish new segment last week. I called it "Who Do You Like?" Threw some games to you. I got some good positive feedback on that, so we're going to do it again. In fact, we're going to keep record of it. I didn't write down what you said last week to hold you.
So you're going to hold me to it.
This week, we're going to revisit it next week.
Right.
So, first game I got for you. There's a team from Tuscaloosa had a shocker last week. I want to be careful how I say it. I know disrespect intended there. They come back. They're at home this week. South Carolina, who I'm mad at because they thumped Kentucky early in the season. South Carolina's at Alabama. Alabama's got a 21-point. They're favored by 21. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Alabama, but I'm not going to say by 21. I think it'll be 2 scores for sure. But I think Alabama's going to win it.
South Carolina, I think they're sneaky good. I really do. I don't think they played their best football every week. They just did against Kentucky and made me mad. But it is what it is. The Red River rivalry shootout. Texas is going to Oklahoma. Number 1 Texas, 15 Oklahoma, and Texas is giving away 14.5 points. So that's. I feel like that game might be closer. I don't know. Who do you like?
Texas by 6.
Okay.
Texas by 6.
And any reason why? I mean, do you like that 2-headed? I think Quinn Ewers is back. The Manning kid, obviously, his name's Manning, so he's got to be good.
He's got to be good. I'm sure he's going to be ready to play. I just think Texas, I think they've established good defensive front. I think the games are won in the trenches. And I think, through last year and this year, the defensive front played well. So I'm banking with Texas.
I gotcha. Let's see. All right, this one, it's not a high. It's Florida at Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 14.5. Who do you like?
I say Tennessee by 17.
Wrong answer. Both teams lose. Nobody likes Florida or Tennessee. No, I'm kidding.
Tennessee's definitely going to win that one. I say 17 plus.
They might just hang 50 on them. I don't know. I mean, Tennessee's that good and Florida's struggling.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Now, we got a couple of high-ranked matchups I'd love to hear your feedback on.
Okay.
Number 9, Ole Miss, traveling to Baton Rouge, Death Valley, playing LSU. Ole Miss favored by 3.5. Who do you like, Coach?
I like Ole Miss, and I give them 6.
Okay.
Ole Miss 6.
All right. Did Ole Miss win week before last?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
before
Kentucky
that.
got them. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
You would bring that up.
And then probably the biggest matchup of the weekend. This will be the last one we talk about. Ohio State travels way out west to Oregon. Ohio State favored by 3. Who do you like, Coach?
I say Ohio State by 10.
How about that?
Ohio
OSU
State
by
by
10.
10.
All that travel, I don't know that Oregon can't upset them. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
anyway,
see.
It's going to be a fun game to watch. All right. Well, we're going to check you on it next week and
Please
see how
do.
you did.
Please do.
All right, fans, if you have any comments, you can put your thoughts on the scores too, whatever. We'd love to get your input as well. Well, fans, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We've still got one more segment left, so don't go anywhere. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, we're so glad that you're tuned in. Those of you watching us on Prattville Live on Facebook, thanks for being a part of the show as well. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Welcome back, Lions fans. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton, and we're so glad that you're a part of the show this evening. Coach, your boys aren't the only football program on the campus at Prattville High School. There's some young ladies that are playing flag football. They've got a ball game tonight. Talk a little bit about that program, those guys, and the season they're having, or those girls and the season they're having.
Man, they're on fire. Coach Pittman, he has those girls competing.
Yeah.
They're getting after it, man. Last I checked, still ranked in the country. 20.
That's what I saw.
Ranked 20 in the country. Man, that's amazing for this to be the second year and running. And unfortunately, I hadn't been able to catch them this year because of our game situation and where the location is. But last year, I can remember watching them. And when I say exciting, that's some exciting football. And to see those girls get after it and make some amazing plays. And he has some big-time ball players on that team.
I was just going to tell you real quick, they're ranked 20th in USA Today in the nation. And the team, one of the two losses is to the number 1 ranked team in Central Phoenix City, who just moved up to the number 1 ranked team in the country. And Vestavia is also in the top 10 or 15. I don't remember exactly where, but they were 12 or 13 last week.
I gotcha.
So it's a lot of high quality flag football going on in Alabama.
In Alabama, that's exciting. That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, again, we talk about varsity football most of the time, but you've got a couple of other programs too, the freshman and JV. Give us an update on their recent games.
All right. Well, those freshman and JV wise, both teams, both ball clubs have been competing hard all year.
Yeah.
Man, I'm always proud to see those guys go out and play on Monday nights. To see the young guys, some of these young guys are working their way to getting some Friday night time because of their performance in those games, because they've been able to showcase their abilities. We had a combined team versus Vestavia Hills JV on Monday night. We fell short in that game. Didn't play as well as we liked that game, but they come back and regroup. And man, just to think they go play that game on Monday night, and then we got to have a big practice on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that takes the commitment, but that's what it takes.
And they practice before the games too, oftentimes.
Yeah,
don't
we
they?
practice.
Yeah.
We'll practice before the game. So they get a plenty of reps, and that's part of playing JV football. Is all about reps.
Yeah.
And JV and freshmen, getting those reps to make yourself better.
Yeah.
And we create ways for them to get those reps. But we fell short Monday. They both will play again this Tuesday. I think our freshmen will play against JAG, and then our JV will play against Marbury.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at there. So, looking for them to come through and play well this week, and we'll get more opportunities to get these guys on film and see them perform. So that's, where we're at with our JV freshman team.
Yeah, thank you for that update there. Well, of course, we turn our attention tomorrow night, headed up to the greater Birmingham area, taking on another powerful team. I mean, we left a region that was really, really strong and went to a region that's really, really strong, going to visit Hewitt-Trussville tomorrow night. Talk about that game a little bit.
Well, definitely a capable team, very talented team. Their defense jumps out at me. They have a very strong defense. They're an odd front defense, meaning a 3-4 style defense. Man, they get after, they send some pressure, but man, they're real good at playing base.
Yeah.
Real good at playing base, got solid athletes all the way around. Some things that we got to do well versus them. When we get in the red zone, we got to make it count.
Yeah.
We got to get points when we get in the red zone. That's something we've been preaching to our guys all week. Also being able to protect. I think, although they hadn't shown a lot of blitz this year, I think we're going to see a lot of pressure this week. So, being able to protect and, give our quarterback an opportunity to get the ball downfield is something that we're going to, need happen. Of course, establishing the run and things like that, and they play the run well. Their D-line is probably their strong suit on the defense. They get after it, man. They got 3 guys that make it happen and make it tick. They have some very solid linebackers, so being able to establish the run, all that kind of stuff is things we got to have happen for our offense.
Certainly.
For our defense, the quarterback is a competitor.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I think of when I see him. He's a competitor. He runs the ball well. He's able to get the ball out of his hand quick. I think that they're going to run the ball, just based off the film that I see and just looking at the film, they're going to run the ball and they're going to find different ways to run the ball. So, we've been prepared all week for that. Even though he does throw the ball, he's very effective in the throw game. But, we're selling out to the run, to be able to get them off the field and get our offense back on the field. We got to get turnovers. We got to do a better job getting that ball out. I don't like our turnover ratio.
That's a plus minus. You want to win.
Right. That's a plus minus. We want to win, and we do it every week. We talk about it every week. But we're getting to the point in the season now. We got to have guys step up and get that ball out. Let's make some stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So just a big night. Much needed night for our offense and our defense to come together. Special teams is going to be huge for us this week. We got to win the special teams battle. We got to be able to flip the field when we need to flip the field. Our kickoff team has been tremendous this year, so they got to continue to run down the field well. Our punt return team, we got KJ returning punts for us, and any given time he can make a play.
Sure.
So we got to be able to hold some guys up and get him an opportunity to run that thing back.
All needs a little bit.
Yeah, and our kickoff return team is not really been tested down the field. We've had some success early in the year returning kicks and getting huge returns, and we hadn't been tested a lot. So, I think they'll actually, they'll test us. I think because their kickoff team is very good.
Yeah.
So I think they'll kick the ball downfield, and we'll have an opportunity to see if we can return one this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you think about the Hewitt-Trussville wide receivers coach? I'm messing about Coach C.
Yeah.
Familiar face.
Yeah, Coach C might be a little upset. I tried to swing him and get him at DB. Coach when I was here at Provo, when we were here together. I tried to get him to coach DBs. He's definitely got a DB coach's mentality.
Yeah.
So I tried to recruit him.
He's going to be on the offense.
He didn't like it very well. I had to hear his mouth every day behind me.
Coach Steve, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, buddy. All right. Well, real quick, we just got a few seconds. How important is it for the Lion Nation to make the drive up and have a supporting that 12th man in the stands?
12th man, it counts. That 12th man is real. Get there early and support these guys. We got a lot riding on to have an opportunity for postseason with this game. It'd be nice to get our guys in there. Let's have more fans than them. Let's be louder than them, and then we'll go out and we'll play hard. I guarantee you we're going to put a product on the field, and the city's going to be proud of it.
Great venue, going to be a great place for a football game. Come support the Lions. And there'll be all kinds of great places to eat dinner after it's over with, too. So, fans, we encourage you to come on out tomorrow night. Well, fans, this has been the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Coach, as always, thanks so much for being here, giving up your time. We were just talking about your schedule. You've got another football game to go to right now, flag football.
I'm going to see flag football. I got to see my youngest
junior,
son.
Yeah,
Adrian's playing flag football, so I got to go watch him. He told me he's going to score a touchdown today. So
Come on, we got to get you there to go see that. All right, well, fans, thanks for tuning in tonight. This has been the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll see you next time.
Go Lions.
Okay, fellas. See you guys tomorrow night. Go Lions.
Show has been powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Pepsi, Prattville Farm Center,